Reflection. I remember the earlier days of me living up this street. It's a laundromat, sit right here. Little, carry out and whatnot. And I'm just struggling. I'm in the early years of still struggling here in DC and the whole nine. Staying in this place. And by that time, I was staying in the littlest room he had, the room that nobody could remember who the hell used to stay in there before. The most unbearing room, I remember telling my mother, I'm taking an oath that the money that I learned that exists in Washington, D.C. compared to me living in Atlanta, Georgia, is at such a state that if I have to go up there and sleep with the devil, that bitch better stay on her side of the bed because I ain't fucking with her. I need to get this money. And I've been on that kind of quest. Ever since. It's 2018. I done seen shit since 2004, 5, right here. And I ain't asked for much. But the reason why I stopped more than anything else right now is just because, I'm good. I'm sitting there and I realize, I remember I had these little knockoff ass phones and shit, the liquor store cell phones, and I'm sitting outside of one, and and I get this call from my mom, and she's screaming, she's crying, she's hollering, yo man, come see me. How you doing? Hey man, I was just making this video of me coming back. Hey, you better be still my neighbor.
Of course.
Because I think he might have got the news or the idea or some kind of intention that, yo, man, don't be playing with me. I need to come home. This bullshit I'm in over there from having left there is some shit you need to come on because you see they've been fixing it up.
Yeah, I think someone bought the house.
I think he's still in it. I don't know if it's a somebody bought, but because the mortgage company had to take over the insurance, they had to build it back the way they wanted it to be. You know what I'm saying? And they are in charge of it. And his ass just had to, he didn't even know that they changed the color of the building.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Until I talked to him today and he's like, oh yeah, they changed the color to gray or something. I'm like, no, it's like a off brown, kind of like an evolution, not quite a red.
Yeah.
But it's getting there. You know what I'm saying? And all it needs to do now is just change the energy in it. I learned the history of that building to realize that one of the chicks that I used to, kind of recklessly eyeball over there for 15 years, finally spoke to me after I left out of there. And she told me, yeah, my uncle used to own that building before he did. He lost the same way. And then she said all of that. And I remember earlier on when I was living up here, I met two chicks. And two specific chicks that both said, I remember being in this house, probably in this room, when I was like going to Dunbar, and I used to cut class and go smoke reefer with this old guy and fuck up here in this room. And I'm sitting back going, get the fuck out of here. So here I am in the liquor store. This chick is telling me that. And I'm looking at her, telling me at how her uncle had been fucking some chick that I had attracted up into this room. Not necessarily just because it was, I'm in the room. That was a bonus. What's happening? Got another one sitting right here, man. This is almost like, easy coming home. I mean, come on, man. We got geishas up in this motherfucker. This weed is something good. I love having, is it that crazy still? Because it's going to change the day I move back in here. The day I move back here, this shit's going to get somewhere else because it's already getting there like it had to just say, hold up. Let me move you out of here for a year and fix some shit around here. All right, now you can come back, because at this point now I can run for ANC because I noticed one of the other deep things about this whole side is that there's two polls for voting that are in this community, and they are less than 2 blocks apart from each other, literally, but more people are registered over here than they are over there, and yet and still these little, things like ANC and council and this, that, and the other, used to be an old lady, you got her little son, to run for a couple of things up in there, you know, and everybody in Citizen Quarter voted for him. And that's how they got the job, but they ain't do nothing with it. That's the reason why half of that shit is all fucked up like that. They ain't had no Marion Barry people to walk up at the meeting and go, what the fuck you doing with this block, man? Oh, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, man, you know, I'm at a point where I'm like, you know what? I made an oath. I said, look, man, I really want to go home. I really want to do something here. I didn't notice that they even fixed this shit up so good that there's a drum practice, teaching, and jam business right there on New York Avenue. The yellow building right in the middle of the block.
On this block.
Bruh, to the point that the people coming out of there are people that the Kennedy Center booked. Nice check, pal. Thank you for bringing us some entertainers. You got some more? Bruh. No, on New York, going down New York. As soon as you pass over Pete.
On North Cap.
Right, on North Capitol. As soon as you pass right there on the left. I still want my shirts, I ain't forgot.
I got you. I'm still working on it.
No, I ain't no working on it. I want the ones that you worked on a couple of years ago. You had in the car, you know. Yeah, but But I was making all of this to say I'm just 6 minutes into this. Call me. I'll see you on Instagram too. But yeah. You know, yeah, because like I said, I just heard 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, that's good because I got to go to court with this other old motherfucker that's been hustling me for about a year, some change over there. And this might be right at, you know what, I'd stay, but I'm about to go home.
So we're gonna come around.
Yeah, how's your pops, man? You make sure you tell him to call me and let me know too. So I need to know whatever y'all know from the past year and whatnot too. You know what I'm saying? You know, because this might be family beneficial. All right, you too. Yeah. I remember I started this video off just to say how, you know, the memories of where I've been and whatnot were. And I remember, you know, getting the phone call from my mom at a certain point that, you know, that spoke about how my auntie, you know, her sister had passed. And it just floored me. I mean, I was at such a point where I really felt that I really had, I had a spiritual moment with my hair, you know, because she's the first person to put a perm in it and kept it at that state for, you know what I mean? So with all that being said, I didn't expect to be greeted with an epiphany of sorts. You know, right here on this corner is where they had this big blow up with this cop killing this dude on the bike and running him, you know, and holding on to some dumb shit, you know. And then used to be an old lady used to have that spot right there, and the firehouse used to belong to these dudes. They used to do music and shit too. They did a little bit of everything. And I'm saying all these things because, you know, maybe I learned a little bit and being stuck where I've been for about a year, and to the point where a bit of it has grown upon me, but now I'm right here. And what, you know, I'm just trying to, give y'all an update. Year and some change later. You know, I'm sitting back here trying to brace for whatever is due me too. And with that being said, you good?